Yep.
I'm doing.
Okay, good. Call the meeting to order. We'll open with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You made it!
Barely, barely.
Roll call.
Wyatt,
Here.
Engel,
Here.
Reister,
Here.
Buns,
Present.
Stabell.
On the agenda, we've got the minutes of the July 8th, 2019 regular session as part of the consent agenda. I want to remove that and have that as a separate action item after the consent agenda. So with that, can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then on the consent agenda, anything else to remove other than the minutes I've already pulled? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
Capital One, commercial and card services, are those both credit cards that we use on the list of accounts payable?
I think so. We have like 3,
I was gonna say, how many credit cards do we
we
get?
have 4. City has 2, library has 1, and fire has 1.
City meaning not Citibank, the city.
No, like City
Yeah.
Hall,
Yep.
and that's used among all of the departments.
The thought crossed my mind, I mean, just for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
transparency, is there any sense in putting those statements in the minutes? Like right here, it just says
Oh, as far as a little bit more. of a
operating
breakdown?
supplies or office supplies, pretty general, you know what I mean?
Yeah, on that report, it's pretty general, but when you actually look at the,
Back in the packet.
like, not back in the packet, but like on our accounts payable site, it's actually listed line by line. That's just how the report spits it out.
He can request a copy of it if he wanted to, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could
Or
specifically.
could any citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Anything else? I got a motion in a second, right?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then, on the movement, the minutes of July 8th, 2019 regular session, we've got in front of you the change that Leon wanted to make for his notes. So what I'd like is a motion to approve
With his
the
changes.
modified minutes with his verbiage in there, replacing what had been in our draft.
You mean the July 25th meeting?
Yeah, July 25th, my mistake.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Will that be then in the board packet? Will that go back out?
It'll go back out as published minutes next week.
It'll go as part of the published minutes for this meeting.
Okay,
They won't get changed. The
Previous.
minutes that from last meeting won't get changed, it'll just be,
this will come through as
notated,
an
yeah.
exit.
Included in the next packet?
Yep.
Thank you.
No public hearings, no ordinances, therefore we can go straight to, unless somebody has anything they want to make comments or commendations, anybody? Okay. General Government A, discussion action to approve resolution 2503, a resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of agreement with Terraces at West Glen LLC and fixing a date for hearing on the proposed issuance of revenue bonds or notes, and the public hearing would be September 23rd. And Chrissy can explain what this is.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, I was
so,
sitting in on the meetings with Chrissy and our bonding agents, but she has a better fit for it.
okay, so because we are a city, the federal government gives each municipality and other, like local government, $10 million a year that they can use. That just that you either use it or lose it. So it really actually isn't money it comes to the city. It's just more that other nonprofits that don't have the bonding capacity that we do can utilize that $10 million from the federal government and get a loan for them and use our interest rates. So what this entity is looking at doing is borrowing, I know in our council packet it says 8.2 million, they actually upped that to 8.4 million. So they're looking at borrowing 8.4 million and, using our interest rates basically. And so there's no risk to the city. So once basically what they're using is our bond capacity, and so there's no risk to the city. We're not on the hook for, if they can't make their payments, we're not on the hook for anything. So once the loan documents and stuff are signed, we're off the hook. So, and then we will get a fee. And most cities that do this, charge a 10 basis points, so we'll get like an $8,400, fee. And Evansdale does the same thing, and they actually just did the same thing, an $8.2 million, loan at the beginning of 19. And so, and they've done this for, I guess, for years.
So in this case, New Aldea would get tax exempt interest standing.
Yeah.
on
So
the bond,
this doesn't
that's all, but-
affect our bond
No,
amount that we have
Right, that's what's
availability to
correct.
bond for?
right, no, but it doesn't affect
General
anything.
obligation bonding capacity.
No, it doesn't affect anything that has to do with the city.
You can't use the
So,
same kind of.
Is there a reason they didn't go
capacity.
to Cedar Falls?
Because bigger towns don't always have the, how do I wanna put this?
Willingness?
Willingness to do this, where with smaller towns, sometimes we have more bonding capacity than some of the bigger towns do.
And maybe a Cedar Falls might not be sure what they're gonna need for bonds over the next year, so they don't wanna go ahead and commit even short,
That's what I
for a
was
short period of
So,
time.
but if it doesn't affect it, why wouldn't they wanna commit? So what is this?
Cause they might use that bonding capacity themselves.
Right.
And Cedar Falls can spend $8.2 million in a heartbeat, is that what you're saying?
They can't use it for themselves.
Yeah, no, you can't use it for themselves, but small towns are usually more willing than bigger towns to have a smaller entity use their interest rate, their tax.
So obviously, my question is, what, I mean.
What's in it for us?
Well, $8,400 is in it for us, but,
What's
I
in
mean,
it
I've
for
never
them?
heard of free money. You know what I mean, like, there has to be a.
I didn't know anything about this either, but they, Dorsey and Whitney, who we, have as our bond attorneys, actually utilize it all the time. And, there's a special word for it, it's called a bank qualified loan. And so, they have small towns that use it all the time.
So it does or does not affect your bonding
It
capacity?
does not affect anything,
Does.
there's no risk to the
Does.
city, and it does not affect our bond capacity at all. Because that was one specific question that we asked, because that was the specific question that I asked, I said, how does this affect the city at all? And they said it does not affect your bond capacity, because it's not a general obligation bond.
That was Dorsey and Whitney that
Yes.
said that?
Yeah.
Yes,
In the middle of page 2, third paragraph, it says, Maybe helpful.
Hang on a second, what page is that?
page in the packet,
It is.
And this is basically, though, we're just fixing a date for the hearing.
yes.
right,
True.
but we might as well know.
No, you send a memorandum.
Yeah.
We're just
So they
setting the
wanna do it
public
first.
hearing.
We just set the public hearing to go through this.
Bonds
Oh, we're
do
going into
not
discussion.
count against the
Okay, so the
city's
second paragraph
strength.
of the page 2, which is gonna be page 10 of the,
Right there,
it says that bonds do not count against the city's constitutional debt limit as provided in section 419.3 of the Iowa Code. The bonds would be limited obligation of the city and would never constitute an indebtedness of the city within the meaning of the state constitutional provision or statutory limitation, and does not constitute or give rise to a precautionary liability of the city or a charge against its general credit or taxing powers.
and then if you go down in that next paragraph, 6th line down, please note that the issuance of the bonds on behalf of the borrower in calendar year 2019 will not limit the ability of the city to issue up to 10 million bank qualified loans in any future calendar year.
Following
The
year.
city will set a new $10 million BQ limit on January 1st. So, like Chrissy said, every year, we apparently have the opportunity to do $10 million of this stuff.
So this is free money?
Free money.
It's not free money to the city, but the
That $8,400 fee is
yeah, we
free
get,
money.
we
That's
get,
what I'm talking
we will
about.
get a fee,
That's what
yeah,
I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
8,400, because they have to pay all the paper. We don't have any paperwork expenses with Dorsey.
So are we paying Dorsey anything to even give us
No.
this?
Nope, they came to us.
Because they'll get their fee by being able to get it through New Aldea.
So the only thing I can see on here,
But New Aldea, if New Aldea doesn't get us or some other city to do it, they'll be paying 3.5% interest rate instead of 1.25% or whatever it comes.
well,
out.
and what it says here is that it is our understanding that the city is not planning to issue any tax exempt bonds. against it. So we can use that limit
Correct.
too, but since we're not planning to,
Right.
that's why they're saying that this is the opportunity that we have to give away, because we have nothing to
Right.
bond for at this
No.
point.
Right,
You know, we're not planning on issuing any bonds. Now,
And
when
we
an
won't
emergency
come up with
comes
anything
up,
before the end of the year.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
But
right,
that wouldn't matter anyhow, because it doesn't count against your bond.
but it does count against our tax exempt bonds for our own purposes. So if we wanted to do tax exempt bonds, then it would be a different story, then we wouldn't wanna give this money away, because that's an art. But since we're not planning on doing that, we don't have anything that we're even
Right.
looking future to bond for.
And even if, yeah,
this
even
year.
if we did, we could, if it, something like this came up where it was either city or them, we could push it off until the next fiscal year because it starts over January 1st.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too,
Yeah.
because even if we were gonna do a bond vote, it would have to go, a bond vote has to go on the, election,
It's a different
doesn't it?
thing
No,
Mm.
no, it's just like issuing debt,
now.
Okay.
like we did with others.
So, yeah, if
But
we
it
had
would take
anything,
some-
we,
It would take some time.
Yeah, it would take some time, yes.
but it's gonna take more than 3 months before, 4 months before the end of the year.
So the statement that says authorizing the execution of a memoranda of agreement, is that just saying that we're tentatively thinking of approving this?
No, that's an MOU.
Yeah, cause we
Memorandum
are,
of understanding.
it's the, we're setting the public hearing. And then at the public hearing, then that's when the bond documents and all the other stuff will come in.
yeah, they'll have all the detailed bond documents that actually lay out the 8,400, because anything you saw in here didn't reflect the 8,400 or the 8,200. In the letter, it said usually you get 5 to 10 basis points, and what we've said, we want 10 basis points, they said that'll be in the final documents, that would be part of the package.
So the memorandum is just basically stating that, yeah, we're assuming public hearing with nothing else coming up, we are on board with this, final documents will come after public
And so if
hearing.
New Aldea uses, basically they're using our bonding capacity to get a lower interest rate for up to $10 million. So let's say they take out $8.4 million and then they go belly up, then what, we're fine?
Yeah,
We
there's
still
no,
get
there's
8,400.
no
Yeah,
risk
that
to the
actually
city.
says that if.
Yeah, there's no risk to the city.
if
So
the
like if they
bond
can't make their
will still be
payments,
out of payments
they go out of
or
payment, they go out of business,
The city
whatever,
would not be called upon.
we don't,
Will we still get our $8,400?
We get that up front.
yeah, we get that, we get that
This is
the
the
minute that
weirdest
they.
stuff.
At the same time as
We
the
need to start going out to
$4
other non-profits on the years that we don't need to bond anything and start making some
So if we're
money
setting a
off
public hearing, let's set a public hearing.
And it'll be for the 23rd.
this. Jim,
Is
Let
the
us-
MOU being
you are
approved?
not on the
Is
council
the MOU being
and you do not
approved
have
at the
any
same
authority
time?
to, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my mind right now.
Is the MOU being approved at this time, or is
Can
that
we-
approved after the
We
public
are
hearing?
approving the public hearing,
Just the public
just
hearing?
the public hearing, correct?
And the MOU would come out of the public hearing.
Yes, that is the way that I understand it.
I move that we have a public hearing.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
I'm gonna sniff
Research,
around on this a little bit first.
research,
It just sounds too
Aye.
good to be true.
funds,
Aye.
Engel,
Uh,
Wyatt,
Aye,
Stabell.
Negative 5-0.
yes,
Yep.
Item B, discussion action to approve resolution 2504, resolution for approval of seal coating bid for the 2019 season with Prairie Road Builders in the estimated amount of $56,790.80.
So moved.
Second.
did they get a
Discussion?
second bid?
Pardon?
Did they get second bids for this?
What we did is, in the element of time, met with Matt, with Scott, and what I did was we went through prior years' bids and pricing from Prairie as well as the other bidder, and we sent back to Prairie, here's the ones, started out at 120,000 and cut it to the ones that we wanted to get. So we did not get official second bids, but Prairie has been the low bidder in prior years. Next year, we will go out with full bids and we'll go out with them earlier.
Did you get a response to my email question?
Yes, it is part of the Klusner bid. So
The
Klusner is giving,
5,700 as far as in-town stuff.
yeah.
Why
so-
would just curiosity, I mean, I get that it's August, but how long can it take to get a second bid? Or a third bid? I mean, I just think we jump to this too often sometimes. I mean, I get that they've been low, but, I mean, this is $56,000, this is not $50 that we're looking at here. I don't think skipping steps is appropriate all the time.
Point taken.
I mean, that's, my whole thing. Not that they won't be the lowest, but again, this gives us no other options, which is what happens when we skip steps, that we don't have other options to fall back on if something happens.
Scott, Matt, you wanna add anything to, I'm the one that requested you guys, and
Yeah,
under the circumstances that we had some
I mean-
unusual circumstances.
just kind of the timeline.
I mean, but how long could it take to call and get a bid on, here's the streets that we want, here's the amounts?
Sometimes you don't even hear back,
It was gonna
too.
take another 30 days to do that.
Why 30 days to get a bid? I mean, I don't know that answer, that's why I'm asking.
Unless we do some special, vote, you know, via email or something. Because we don't, Public Works meets.
30
once-
days to get back an okay after that bid would
Correct,
come
so
in.
now that puts us, now you're into fall by the time they even get to it, so that was the
Well,
thought process.
Because they have to
And you
come out,
already
and
are within the fall, because it's gonna be September or October before they even get here to. seal
and
coat
for them to
anyway.
come out and get a bid, you have to go through the whole process of taking them on the tour of the city and everything.
I think, I mean, our conversation was broader than just this project. And as I remember, I forgot that we even had the conversation until you just mentioned it, but now I remember it. And the issue was, that these, like, looking for bids should have probably been out quite a bit earlier
In the
this year.
spring, right,
And that didn't happen.
because we had the new
Yeah.
guy,
Mhm. Absolutely understand that,
yeah.
but I just, they've bid it before.
And
All
so-
of these companies are kind of familiar with what we've got. Here's the roads that we want to have done. How long could it take to get, I mean, even if we sent it out for a bid,
So George, your cost comparison between this year and last year? I don't remember.
Comparable on the cost per square footage, the three big things on this one, the major things on this one were the core out areas that were just massive damage on Ranchero, where we had to core out, they're putting in 2 inches or 3 inches of base that we've never had to do before.
which I think is therefore even more reason than if we've never had to do it before to not just say, well, then go ahead and do it. Why do we not have another bid? Again, devil's advocate here, playing, because truly, of an amount this size, we should have more than one bid.
Next year we will.
Well, I think
In my
that we did
opinion, we
have
don't-
2 bids at one point. We had Aspro and we had Prairie Road Builders.
Yeah, I don't recall what other pieces that came in.
I mean, I know this is general just working through the public works, but isn't it a dollar amount that we have to have more than one bid? Isn't it competitive bids?
No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
Why is that? I'm just, again, curiosity, why would that not
Was it
apply?
75,000?
It said the thresholds for competitive bidding with the state has changed. It went up to 75,000.
Okay, that's good to know, because I didn't know that, so that's kind of why I'm asking this. I just think, again, if we continue to skip steps, that's where additional money gets spent.
Part-
That,
Part of my deal, Kate, in general, I'm with you. We started out at what amount?
120.
120.
121.
And so I remember in our meeting, we just talked about which
High
projects need
priorities.
to take priority and which ones don't, and which ones are gonna get throttled within 3 months of them getting fixed anyway.
Mhm.
And so then, what maybe set what I would have had heartburn about naturally
I'm wondering why you didn't have heartburn
Yeah.
about this, to be honest.
is that we went from 125 way
But we
back
don't know
to
if we could've-
56, and it was reasonable enough for me, given the whole scope of the conversation. I guess that's what I'd say.
Next year it'll officially go out for multiple bids in a proper time frame to where we have the ability to.
And can fix
Get those
all the
pieces.
pieces, cause right now this is just a
Don't
small,
normally try to
small
get this out
portion of a
anyway.
large issue, right?
Yeah, this fell through the cracks.
And
Yeah.
even in town, we usually try to get it done before Hudson Days, don't we?
Mhm.
In
Yeah, there's
fairness, in this year, I don't know if we could have gone out a heck of a lot earlier for bids at all because of the
Somewhat.
status for anybody to be able to give a reasonable price on what it takes to fix
Sure.
with some of those. Any further?
Well, I had sent an email because, and I guess this kind of answers the question though, but you were saying there's another bid, or can you explain that to me,
Okay,
please?
so Klusner has a bid out for just different areas, like the area.
That are larger, or?
No, just like the smaller areas, so like any time that we had a water main break, all those areas, Klusner's coming in to do those areas, and I think they're doing some core out
Yeah, the
Work.
total of that was $5,740.
Okay,
The
so
variable
when are
amount.
those?
We use Klusner for those, but not for this when they're doing core outs?
Klusner and Prairie Road Builders are owned by the same firm.
Okay.
Asphalt versus.
Chip.
Chip,
Yeah.
seal coat.
Right.
Chip seal, whatever.
So that one's already ready to go, when is that happening?
That
Do
was
we
done
know?
within the maintenance.
Do we know when
allowance
that's
within Public Works.
happening?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'm good,
I think about the same, I would
Yeah,
think
probably
around the
same
same time.
okay.
Good discussion. Roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Bunce,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Wyatt.
No.
4-1. Item C, discussion action to approve resolution 2505, a resolution for approval to offer employment set wage for interim public works director position for the city of Hudson, Iowa, which is Dan Gates, which is at $5 an hour during his interim period of time until such time as we get a public works director hired.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Reister,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Bunce,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Engel.
Aye.
5-0. Item D, discussion action to approve resolution 2506, a resolution approving the street finance report for this fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
And that is just to report all the,
State required Iowa DOT, yeah.
what I figured.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Engel,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Bunce,
Aye.
Stabell.
Aye.
5-0. Item E, discussion action to approve resolution 2507, a resolution to purchase and gift the duty gun to Police Chief Marsh in gratitude for his 30 years of service.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
Discussion?
Yeah,
This is just buy the gun and give it to him?
don't we already own the gun?
No, because they got traded in when we got new revolvers.
Okay.
So it's his old one
Is
because.
this typically what happens with police chiefs? I mean, is that
yes.
the
According
gift
to
going
Chief
out?
Marsh, yes, that's what happens.
He's been
I
here
said-
30 years. Thank you so
He's
much
been
for all
around
your.
30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your
So it'll be the
service.
gun that he used,
Yeah, and it's the gun that he's currently using, they haven't
Okay.
put the new ones into,
Glock 22, Glock what?
I don't know. It's
Yes.
a Glock, that's all I know.
Is it black? Could be.
Yes.
It's metal?
Not a 22 caliber, the number 22,
Oh.
which is a
Yeah.
40 caliber.
Oh, yeah,
I think they went to like Glock
22.
or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's the one that they're currently using, cause they haven't put the new ones into service.
sounds
yet.
great.
For that price, if you ask for volunteers, you might get people that would.
Speaking of the police department,
Well, they know
Officer
Kaiser
Where's
Police
been doing
Supplies,
his
they have a
job.
lot of them, so.
did you hear about that?
What?
I said, speaking of the police department, Officer Wiersman's doing his job.
Does he have somebody over, somebody's pulled over right in front of
Somebody's
the hall
pulled
right
over
now?
down here.
I got pulled over on Butterfield by him.
Yay!
Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't, I'll have to ask
Do
him about
I
that.
hope
you want
you
to
got
be
a
on
ticket.
tape with it, or you want to wait till after?
I'll wait till
Okay.
Okay.
If I got a,
Yeah, first,
Uh,
second,
if I got a
yeah.
roll call?
Yeah, roll.
We need roll call, please.
Bunce,
Aye.
Engel,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Reister, Stabell.
Aye.
5-0. Item F, discussion action to approve resolution 2508, a resolution to set a public hearing to approve the request of David Weidenbacher to rezone approximately 3.00 acres at 5133 South Hudson Road from A1 suburban agriculture to R6 large lot residential district and subdivide the lot into two 1.5 acres. And there is a public hearing on this one. This would be a public hearing set for August 26th, pending planning and zoning review on the 20th, which then they'll have their findings on the 26th.
26.
So
Where is this approximately?
If you, right at the corner of Ranchero and South Hudson Road,
But frontage
you go
road.
across this side of the street, right?
It's in
The
between
first-
Ranchero and.
It's south of Ranchero.
Strayer.
The first house, right?
Just before,
Or
if you're
second.
coming into Hudson, it's just before the thing that used to have the big horse in front of it there,
Fair Ridge?
That has now cows, the cow farm.
yeah,
I see.
the
Used to be,
stables.
yeah.
Oh, is it
They're on
that
the
far
corner.
south?
That far
Yeah.
south?
I thought it was on Ranchero.
Yeah.
Boy, I had it
No,
misplaced.
it's not, it's on South Hudson Road, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's
Okay,
on South Hudson Road, just,
And the horse farm.
Yeah.
is it south of Trayer?
North of,
Yeah.
north of Strayer?
South of Strayer?
I was gonna be.
North of Strayer.
I'll show you on
North
the
of
map.
Strayer.
Hey, I move that we set the public hearing for the 26th.
Okay,
Second.
I gotta go to work.
roll call.
Engel,
Aye.
Reister,
Aye.
Bunce,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
5-0.
We're all eyeing.
Item G, discussion action to approve resolution 2509. A resolution to set a public hearing to approve the request of Echo Development to approve the amendment to the Twin Oaks preliminary plat, which would be subdivided, this is to subdivide the R3 lots into smaller lots. Public hearing to be held on August 26th, pending planning and zoning recommendation, which will hopefully occur on August 20th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
This is the
Roll
same
call.
location?
it's where Western Homes was anticipated, it's gone.
Engel,
Aye.
Reister. Wyatt,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Bugs.
Aye.
5-0, information items, there's a number of them in the packet, reminder items, regular scheduled meetings held at council chambers, except the electric board and library board. Public Works, August 14th, 7 a.m. Mayor's task force is being canceled.
Again?
Unless you have anything for the agenda on it.
Not at this moment in my life.
Public Safety Committee meeting, August 22nd at 4 p.m. Personnel Admin Finance Committee, August 26th at 4:45 p.m. As council meetings, Monday, August 26th at 6 p.m. and Monday, September 9th at 6 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.